Hello everyone and welcome to Unsung Heroes. In these videos, we look at characters that are underappreciated, underused, or just plain forgotten, and see what they can really do. The subject today is everyone's favorite repo fodder, Barst. Barst is an axe infantry with 158 BST. He's been in the game since release. If Barst has a critical flaw, it's this. He's a non-trainee Gen 1 infantry without a personal weapon. That limits his score ceiling, and is, I think, the main reason that people ignore him as a unit. Well, that, and the fact that he's a 3-star with reposition. Stat-wise, Barst is actually really good. With 33 attack, 32 speed, 30 defense, and 17 res, Barst falls somewhere in between Bartra and Raven. He's a melee generalist, although he vastly prefers physical opponents. If you want a Gen 2 comparison, the best example is probably Libra. And even though Libra has more stats overall, Barst does have a real advantage over him in terms of physical bulk. Even though his speed is low by modern standards, Barst is fast enough to avoid doubles with investment. He seems like he'd be weak to mages and dragons with only 17 res, but his HP and respectable speed make him surprisingly hard to one-round KO. So based on only his stats, Barst lacks a preference for either phase or any particular playstyle. That might sound weird, but I think it makes him a good switch hitter, a mixed-phased duelist. Barst's base kit doesn't do him any favors. The Brave Axe makes his attack and speed look lower than they really are. To be honest, I think the Brave weapon is a big part of why people underrate him. If Barst came with a Slaying Axe or a Hammer instead, he'd look much better at a glance. His other skills are Reposition, Knockback, and Spur Attack. Nowadays, these are downright quaint, but repo alone means that Barst is valuable fodder. Let's take a look at a few builds. As always, these aren't the only builds that you can use. Since this video is being recorded only a day or so before update 2.9, it's also entirely possible that new features, systems, or other changes could make them obsolete. Let's start off with a build that you should all know by now. Yep, Steady Breath Quick Riposte. This set works on almost every melee unit, at least on those who can run breath skills. Steady Breath gives you bulk and enemy phase special acceleration, then QR guarantees your enemy phase double. Okay, I know Steady Breath QR isn't exactly original, but Barst adds a twist to it. Because of his speed, Barst is very good at avoiding doubles. Normally this is a problem, you can't activate Aether every round if you're too fast. However, if you add Slaying Axe for 1 cooldown reduction, you can give Barst a build-your-own Radiant Aether. When all is said and done with this build, Barst ends up looking and playing a lot like Legendary Ike, albeit an Ike without distant counter. You can add in Guard to prevent enemies from charging their special, and you have yourself a real sleeper, a unit that can mix it up in melee, hits back hard, has good sustain, and is still quick enough to fight on the player phase. The C skill is up to you. If you want to be selfish, you can consider abilities like Odd Attack Wave, but for this example I'm using Infantry Pulse. Moving on, our next set is more aggressive. This build leans into Barst's speed to kill armors on the player phase, while remaining tanky enough to take a hit on the chin. Slaying Hammer is no-brainer. It's one of the best weapons in the entire game after all, and the extra scaling damage means we get away with less attack and more investment on speed. Our A skill is the now infamous Deathblow 4 for +8 effective damage on the player phase. The B skill is Chill Speed. This might look a little weird on Barst, but when you see his unbuffed speed here, 42, it makes a lot more sense. Thanks to Chill Speed, Barst contributes without fighting and becomes more of a threat himself. Even the fastest enemies will be unable to double him, and with 89 physical bulk, there's almost no way that he's going down in a single hit. The C skill is flexible, but I like using Odd Attack Wave. It combos well with both our Sacred Seal, Heavy Blade, and our A skill for more upfront damage. Finally, our special is Gale Force. This gives us more player phase actions and helps us move Barst out of harm's way after he kills an enemy armor. I like this build because it's a hybrid of Raven and Bartra, and in my opinion, that's exactly what Barst wants to be. Finally, the last build I have for you today is a weird one. A mixed phase wind sweep build using Steady Breath and Smoke skills. Combining breath skills and wind sweep isn't new, but it's not something that many units can do well. Most fast units lack the physical bulk that you need to survive on the enemy phase, while the bulky ones often lack speed. Barst fits in the middle, alongside units like Female Corrin, who are both bulky and good at sweeping. We can use the Beach banner from Summer Innis to bring our speed up to 44 on the player phase. It isn't a huge increase, but it helps us sweep while leaving our ace skill open. Then, the Sea and Seal are both smoke skills. You can mix them and match them as you see fit, but I like running attack and speed smoke. If you're anxious about only having 51 attack, you can run this exact same build except with a hammer. You lose a handful of sweeps, but in exchange you get effective damage. If you're using this at very high score ranges, that's definitely an option to consider. I like this set because it excels at punishing melee units off defense tiles. It gets in for free, debuffs the enemy team, and then threatens to activate specials on the enemy phase. If you like this playstyle, it works well on a few other units, including Shiro, Female Corrin, and Soleil. Barst is a great unit who doesn't get half the attention he deserves. He's common, versatile, and can bring a lot of value to the table with enough investment. He's a great example of why we look at units without their skills equipped. If you only see the Brave Axe and reposition, he looks like fodder. But looks can be misleading. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please consider leaving a like or subscribing. You can find me on Twitter @DireThunderYT, so feel free to send me cool stuff or just drop by to say hello. As always, I hope to see you next time. Take care.